Rumors surrounding the beloved Chinese actor Dylan Wang have erupted across the internet once again, but this time, everything feels much heavier, darker, and more intense. The glamorous world of entertainment that once seemed to embrace him with open arms now appears to be closing in, pressing its weight against him like an invisible cage. His fans, who have supported him from the very beginning, are shaken, anxious, and rallying behind him as whispers of mistreatment and emotional distress surface. Just days ago, Dylan finally spoke out, breaking a silence that had left millions feeling helpless and afraid for him. His words, though few, carry a chilling power. Something is very wrong behind the scenes. For years, Dylan has been recognized not only for his stunning visuals and iconic roles but for his sincerity. From his breakout fame in Meteor Garden, his rise seemed unstoppable. With every drama, every runway appearance, every fan meeting, he radiated confidence and warmth. But behind that charming exterior, pressure built, and now the world is finally beginning to see the cracks. Rumors began circulating months ago. Fans noticed he had become quieter, more withdrawn, and less active online. At first, many brushed it off, thinking he was simply busy with new projects. But as time passed, the silence grew louder, and questions began forming like storm clouds on the horizon. Recently, his agency became the center of attention. Several insiders claimed he was struggling under harsh working conditions. Long hours, strict limitations, constant pressure, and very little freedom to speak or rest. People said he was forced to participate in schedules that exhausted him physically and mentally, leaving him depleted. Some sources whispered that the agency was controlling, manipulating opportunities, micromanaging his decisions, and restricting him even outside of work. Fans felt uneasy, but without Dylan's voice, no one knew what to believe. Then, everything changed. Late one evening, Dylan released a message online. It wasn't a dramatic explosion of anger. His tone was calm, but beneath the subtle words, there was a trembling vulnerability. He hinted that he had been struggling, that people close to him were unaware of what he was going through, and that he had reached a breaking point. Though he never directly accused anyone, the implications were clear enough. He felt trapped, terrified, unable to breathe. The entertainment world froze. The boy who once smiled so brightly now sounded frightened, tired, and desperate for relief. Fans flooded social media with messages of concern, outrage, and unconditional support, demanding answers and transparency. Within minutes, hashtags shot to the top of the trending list. People were calling for protection, for freedom, for justice. So many were heartbroken, replaying his old interviews and clips where he laughed so effortlessly, wondering when the spark began to disappear. They realized now that perhaps his gentle and charming demeanor had concealed a deeper struggle. Being a public figure means smiling, no matter how much pain you carry. Some posts claimed he had tried to renegotiate his contract, hoping to gain more autonomy. More time to rest, to make personal life decisions, to grow at his own pace. But instead, he was supposedly threatened with legal retaliation, penalties, and the possibility of being blacklisted if he resisted. Others believed he was pressured into projects he was uncomfortable with, forced to work even while ill, controlled down to his personal relationships. Fans began putting pieces together, recalling times when rumors surfaced about him wanting more freedom but withdrawing from those discussions suddenly, as if silenced. His recent public appearance only confirmed fears. He looked thinner, paler, and tired. The playful spark in his eyes seemed dim. Though he attempted a smile, it didn't reach his eyes. He spoke softly, choosing his words carefully. Something was holding him back, and that tension was visible. During fan interactions, he apologized repeatedly, saying he hoped they wouldn't worry. That alone was enough to break hearts. He wasn't complaining. He was apologizing. Apologizing for being human, for struggling, for feeling overwhelmed. It shattered fans who could feel how much he had been holding inside, afraid to disappoint those who love him. After his message went viral, thousands of fans united, sending him encouragement. They urged him to take a break, to prioritize his health, to step back from the spotlight if needed. His well-being was far more important than any drama, any photoshoot, any contract. People reminded him that his value was not rooted in fame but in his humanity. They admired him not just as an actor but as a person, a kind, gentle soul who deserved to be safe. Meanwhile, The agency released a statement that felt flat and defensive. Many felt the tone was cold, emphasizing their own innocence rather than addressing Dylan's emotional cries. They insisted everything was fine, that work arrangements were standard, that rumors were fabricated. But the public wasn't convinced. If everything was fine, why did Dylan feel compelled to speak out at all? Why did he seem frightened? Why had he changed so drastically over the past year? Industry insiders stepped in, hinting that such conflicts are more common than most realize. Agencies hold tremendous power, especially over young stars who become famous quickly. Contracts can be restricting, sometimes taking advantage of the inexperience of new actors. Fan communities have seen these stories before, bright talents who crumble under unseen pressure. But seeing Dylan, someone so beloved and strong, struggling so deeply felt personal. It was no longer about the industry. It was about protecting someone who has given so much. Even some celebrities who had worked with him spoke subtly, posting cryptic messages online. Messages about courage, about speaking one's truth, about finding strength in darkness. None named him directly, but their timing spoke volumes. The entertainment circle seemed to be rallying behind him, quietly but certainly. In the days following his message, Dylan remained quiet. No videos. No interviews. No appearances. Silence settled once more, but it felt different this time. Now, fans understood what might be behind that silence. It wasn't indifference, it was fear. It was exhaustion. It was the silence of someone trying to figure out how to survive in a world designed to profit from his every move. His supporters have become louder than ever. They are determined to ensure his voice is heard and protected. They share memories of why they fell in love with his talent. The way he brought characters to life, the sincerity he carried, the warmth he radiated. They are fighting for him because he fought so long in secret, burdened by expectations and demands. There is still so much unknown. Will he take legal action? Will he leave the agency? Will he step back from the spotlight entirely? No one has those answers yet. But what is clear is that the world loves Dylan Wang. Not the celebrity, but the human being behind the camera. A person who deserves peace, safety, and fulfillment. A person who should never feel terrified of those meant to guide him. For now, millions wait, hoping he is surrounded by people who truly care, praying he finds strength and protection during this difficult period. No fame is worth a broken spirit. And Dylan, who once gave the world so many smiles, deserves to smile freely once again.